Alright, so I just logged into chess.com. I'm doing another episode of Spying on Friends. And Architect, computer evaluation looks equal, but I think this position, like, it looks pretty nice for Arc. I'm guessing it's a London where the opponent took on this square to open up the rook. And then Black had to play this move to block this kind of diagonal, which happens in this sort of idea happens a lot in the London, so I'm just gonna assume that's what happened. This position looks good. Oh wow. And I also noticed like 20 moves, 9 minutes 20 seconds. um, yeah, this is a. I would say it's domination. You need to be careful of this pawn, but yeah. Okay, yeah, black, and also like if you go this pawn, like where does the knight go after you attack it? Like this square is not even safe because there's even a rook sack. So I don't know if I can. Okay, so Arc just played tripling up over there. That's I, I'm trying to think of what tools Arc has to break this position. I think Black is doing a pretty good position, pretty good job just like holding on, and Arc is doing pretty good. I wonder if there's like a knight sack. I don't think there is. I think you need to prepare it a little bit better. Okay. No, I don't know. That doesn't work. I don't think that works. It might. It might. It might. Let me think about this. Uh, I don't think it works, and the reason is because there's two heavies, but the computer seems to think it works. Okay, yeah. So this knight sack is kind of like a guaranteed mate if takes. Yeah. So I was kind of like, it's easy to kind of get obsessed with the second rank or the seventh rank because there's just so much pressure on this pawn. But the key here is that you got the doubled rooks, and it's actually not the seventh rank that's weak. It's the eighth rank. Not this square, but it's the square behind it that's very weak. So what happens is that check. The queen blocking is forced. I don't think there's any sort of king move that can save you. And here you can deliver checkmate. This is an awesome checkmate because the queen can't take it. Like the king can't take it because this is doubled. The queen can't take it because of the pin. So this is just unbelievable. And see, Arc took 7 seconds to do this. I don't know if he calculated it down, but if he did calculate this, awesome job. And I think uh, the fact that he took 7 seconds on this move isn't really indicative of how much he thought about it. I think from probably this point. Yeah, so from this point he probably saw the tactic. Like he was probably calculating it out from here. This took like 30 seconds. So probably from this position, he was calculating like what do I need to do to get the checkmate on the 8th rank. So this is nicely spotted. Good on black for seeing it and defending against it. This is just like domination right now. I don't think that's a threat. I think you just yeah. I was about to say like it doesn't matter if they take, and then at this point you can probably trade down. Yeah, that's a excellent move. Yeah, trade. You can trade down, and at the end of the day, it's going to be rook versus knight. And I think that okay, Arc. I think trading was fine, but I think Arc didn't see a way to actually like win it. This is kind of kind of interesting. That's one idea. He's playing so fast. I feel like he's gonna blunder something if he continues playing this fast. But this is nice because it targets a pawn. But it's also got a few other ideas. Check isn't good just yet, but at some point it can become good. So the thing is that these rooks, it's pressure, but that's all it is. It's not actually doing anything. Like as long as one of the heavies, if just think about this. Again, trading might not be the most terrible idea, but Arc wants to keep the queens, so maybe something like this is alright. You could even go, yeah, here, targeting 2 pawns. That's pretty nice. So the only way I see to defend this pawn is rook over. And then at this point, you can like switch targets with this rook over here, targeting the e-pawn. And I think there's just too many holes in Black's position. Like I don't think this works because now Arc has a kind of like a shield. And so I think Arc's doing a great job. Like these are the 2 weak pawns, the e-pawn, and I don't know if that's necessary. I mean, I guess that's pretty decent. Oh, yeah. So knight takes, rook takes, and then it's queen versus rook. Yeah. Yeah, moving the king on the same line as a queen when there's been this pressure all game long. That was the deciding mistake. Game changing, man. Game changing. Yeah, Arc doesn't really care about that. You could go that way. You lose this pawn, but I don't think that matters too much. You lose this pawn as well, which is a concern. I think another way to do it is you can hook this way. Yeah, time for the king hunt. You could consider defending, but yeah, very nice. You win this pawn. You don't really care about this pawn. The king is actually in a great position. The only way to kind of assault the king, you can't even do anything with these guys. It's nice. Oh, you can just take. Yeah, nice. Very nice game by Arc. You kind of maintain the advantage. I somewhat want to like look up the knight sack. But let's just review this. London, I'm sure that there was a capture on this square. Just because players, but like at 1,000 level, you should kind of like have some familiarity with the London. And if you capture like this, that's a signal that you should castle queenside, but your queenside is not developed, because you're going to have this kind of pressure, which is very difficult to deal with. So now you can start like marching this pawn if you wanted to. Yeah, you didn't need to play this yet, just because the knight covers this, but I think like there's just too many ways to pressure this. Yeah, that's good. See, I don't understand this reroute, but whatever. Like in the London, the knight is better on this square. Let me just see if he's in another game. He is. Okay, let's go. Let's go. He's not? Okay. So yeah, I was saying... Oh, what the fuck is this? Social... Friends. Okay, flipboard. I'll watch that game later. This is Sicilian with this queen move. I seem to remember like putting the knight here, letting this pawn fall and attacking like that. I seem to remember that was kind of really powerful. Yeah, that... This game makes 0 sense right now. The way White's playing makes 0 sense. You just need to be careful when you put all your guys on light squares. Because then your dark squares around here are kind of weak. You need to be careful with moves like that, but I don't know, if you can kind of like navigate it, is fine. I think now you're pretty okay. Okay. So you've gotten your knight out of this attack, which is nice. Whoa, 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 whoa. And like, what even is the knight doing here? Like, you can't really move it anywhere. I guess like you want to reroute here, but then what? Like, is that really a great square? Um, you can kind of like move your knight. There's only one square to move your knight. I think he's contemplating defending it, but there's no point. This moves the knight into a better, like, I don't really know what white's doing. You're kind of like helping Arc do what he wants. Like, the knight has no future on this square, but it's pretty decent on this square. Um, so I think the main thing here is try to find a way to free this bishop. I think this bishop is really nice. Maybe try to target this pawn since it's pretty weak. So maybe double up, put the queen here. Yeah, I think putting the rook on the c file is good. Yeah, put the rook on the c file, maybe queen over here attacking the knight, and then you can gobble up this pawn. And that's one way to activate the bishop. The thing is that this rook wanted to move anyway, so you're helping this rook move. So unless you have a specific plan for this bishop, I don't think this move really does much, unless you have a plan to kind of get in here. But I don't really see it right now. Or maybe he's just hoping, right? Yeah, so now the idea of attacking this weak pawn is a lot harder because you helped white move the rook to the c file. But I still think it's easier for black to mount the pressure than it is for white to defend it. There's even ideas to double up the rook and then capture this knight, perhaps. So yes. Yeah, see, now you can, yeah, that's pretty decent. think, I think, um, I think c5 would have been a better square because it prepares winning this pawn while threatening a queen trade. So if I were to play over here, I don't know, I can't really show the position, but if the queen was on this square, you're attacking the knight would be, okay, I guess that kind of is a move, but then you can just drop back. And this pawn is, like one of the things, you don't want to do it right now. It allows, like, you have to be careful of a move like this. Because it overloads this pawn over here. If you move here, you're allowing the trade of the terrible knight. So it's going to be a terrible knight trading your potentially good bishop. Because this knight, I don't really know what it's going to do. Like, even 5 moves in the future, I don't know what this knight's going to do. But if you move here, not only are you trading your good piece for a bad piece, you're overloading this pawn and the queen can take. So that's kind of one of the problems here. I think that's I mean, that's one way to do it. Putting the queen there. So now this one, you still have the issue that this bad knight is gonna. that an issue? I don't think it's... I don't see how that's an issue. I feel like that's just um, furthering white's demise. Just like... But then white's losing, so you have to create some sort of threat, which white doesn't exactly have. I like that Arc is playing this really patiently. Basically, like, not moving pieces. You can even play this weird move, bishop a8, tucking this piece, just super safe, but it's still, it's pretty decent. Like, it's not any worse here than it was here, if I'm being honest. But yeah, it's gonna be harder to double now because you don't have that many squares. But white moving up, up, up. Okay, that you need to be careful of. That you need to be careful of. So this where I was gonna say, like, white moving these pawns like that. So you move the pawn over here to prevent the queen from landing here, but you move it away to just like one move attack the bishop. The queen has a square again. So Arc needs to be careful. I don't think there's any sort of tactic with like discovered attacks or anything, but it allows the threat of a queen trade. So I think over here, I feel like queen over here would have been decent because this knight is hanging. And then when the knight moves, you can take. Just be careful, because the queen is hanging right. Oh no, the queen's hanging. No. Yeah, he got lost in the sauce with all this pawn nonsense. Like, oh, white's pushing the pawn. I need to push a pawn in retaliation, but you don't really need to. Like, there's no point. At this point, you can... Not really sure what you can do. You could consider doubling up. I think this was a double attack, right? Here, double. Yeah. I think Arc just lost his mind because he just lost two pieces. He lost this bishop as well. I think he just tilted after losing the queen. That was kind of unnecessary. I mean, obviously it was unnecessary, but there's still some tricks you can go for. Here, I don't think that helps. I think like the trick you go for is some sort of back rank nonsense, because a bishop, if you can get the bishop on this diagonal, and then you can deliver a back rank somehow. But I don't think that... You need to like plan your tricks out. So now, see, this move is good. I don't know if you planned this from the beginning. He moved it forward and then backwards, but yeah, so that's pretty good. I think maybe... Let's see. I think you need to move your rook to somewhere... I don't think... No, the pawn's not going to win. You need to trick... You need to trick white into moving the rook somewhere. Yeah, I think the better play... a better way to trick him is to trick the rook into moving somewhere and then delivering back rank. It was very unfortunate. I think Arc played positionally very well, and then he just kind of like... He overreacted to the pawns. Like, there was no reason to push your pawns when your opponent was pushing pawns. I think just like... You need to be more... Like he needed to be more perceptive of, what does this pawn move do? And I'll show it after the game. Say... And this type of game is extra frustrating because white played so bad this game. Yeah, so like at this point, yeah, so the queen couldn't move to this square, to c5. But as soon as this pawn moved, this square becomes accessible. So I think you should kind of like perceive what's going on here. So if the queen moves here and there's some sort of like discovery or whatever. So first of all, if the queen moves here, both of the knights are hanging. And the way to defend it would be to move the knight here so that the knights link up. But then this pawn would be hanging. Because the rook wouldn't see the queen. So yeah, this is... at this point... There's just too many things hanging at this point. He's trying though. He's trying. I can't fault him for trying. But there's... King's been opened up. It's just kind of unfortunate. Just gonna quickly... The thing is, I feel like if white doesn't move this guy, I mean, it's pretty good winning the knight, but he needs way more than that. He needs... As long as white doesn't move the rook away from the back rank, I don't think there's any way to win. It's like 3 heavy pieces. Like this knight doesn't even matter. Like, look how careful white's playing. Like, you're up so much material. Yeah, that's a tricky move because you want to... You know, I hope white doesn't notice it. And it's kind of like restricts this knight as well. Okay. He got something, but I don't think it's enough. So you take first. And then you try to hem the... I think it's still not enough, yeah. Hem the queen in and try to win it like that. I still do not think this is enough, but... Yeah, that's... Hold on, let me think. What was wrong with that move? Takes... Just because I feel like you no longer... Yeah, that's... It's unfortunate. I think you just tried. If you go here... I think still... I'm not quite seeing... Yeah, and even if you trade... Like, even if white sacked the queen there... Like, there was a queen sack. What was it? Here, check. You'd even like... there was a queen sack somewhere where it ended up with white with a rook versus nothing. So it's dangerous, but you gotta go for it. Because there's always this rook, like a sideways check. Okay, I think this check was better. But depriving... Like, the way white's doing it, he's not depriving the king of any squares. Like, see, this is a better way to do it, and then you can, like... Yeah. And then I think this... Yeah, that's one way to do it, but yeah, you're allowing stuff like ultimately this doesn't matter. White can sack the queen and win because there's gonna be another queen pretty soon. Yeah, yeah. Unfortunate queen blunder. So over here, this is all okay. Wait, I'm not really sure. Oh no. The this thing was hanging. Right. Yeah, that's why like when you weaken your squares like this, it's really dangerous because all of a sudden like everything is weak. So this knight was hanging, white didn't see it. And white didn't see the bishop. And this move made no sense because it allowed like the knight doesn't want to be here. Like where's it going to go? Like here? Like come on. So it allowed that. I didn't really like this move. I didn't really see the point of it. I think a better move is to say, hey, look, this guy's pretty weak. It's got an attacker. Let's bring either rook. I can't really tell which one's better. Let's bring this guy into the party. Attack that. And I felt like so I felt like black could add attack, pile on the attackers faster than white could pile on the defenders. And maybe there's like the problem is that so here, the knight jumps in. Hold on. So here, like the queen's attacking the knight. So you could defend it a few ways. If you defend it like this, I feel like you're adding. There's like another attacker added to this pawn. So it's kind of difficult defense, and you can kick it out with this move over here. So, and then if you go here to defend the knight, this pawn's hanging. If this knight moves anywhere here, this pawn's hanging. If the knight moves here, it's not attacking anything, and I feel like you could just kick it out. And that's trapped, right? Yes. So this was kind of like a missed opportunity. Yeah, so that was a missed opportunity. I felt like black could pile on the attackers faster. He saw this idea. Again, this was good to pile on this pawn. And I think the reason is he didn't want to put the queen in front of the rook, because the rook is looking at this. And if something like this, you just go back, which is the position he had anyway. Yeah, and there was like a whole bunch of pawn stuff that white was trying. I don't think these are good moves, but I think that white needed to do something like this. But anyway, here arc pushed a pawn. Yeah, like this was, I didn't really see the idea of this. I think he could have moved back here to target this, and it's going to be the exact same thing as before. In fact, it's even worse because this knight has been deprived of every single square. So here, and then bam. And I don't think you're scared of any sort of discovery. Just because anywhere you go, the queen can just do stuff. And if nothing happens, if white doesn't do anything here, you can take. Yeah, there's like all sorts of stuff that can happen. Anyway, that was unfortunate. I think Ark has had enough. It's kind of like a maddening way to lose. So yeah, that game was unfortunately not very good. I feel like the previous one was good. So maybe I'll cover that in the next video. Anyway, peace out.